Hello, peoples of the internet. Today I will be attempting to build a Ford F150 competitor. If my voice ever fixes itself, because it seems to be being really weird at the moment, I'm not sure why. There, that's a truck, probably not big enough though. This is the kind of thing we want. Looks kind of like a Chevrolet, was it? I don't know. I'm not that into the trucks. I just build them because I think that crew cab looks a bit better. Can I have a pickup based on that? Apparently. Well, I'm on pickup bodies and it comes up with that and there's no pickup variant. That doesn't make much sense. Oh yes. It's a minuscule pickup. Not really going to be rivaling the F150 though, because Americans like huge things. Here's a kind of Buick GNX style shell. I believe it was used in other GM bodies as well. There's a pickup truck variant. More of an ute, if I'm honest. I think that large one we had was probably the most realistic. Unless... no, that's not a truck. It seems to call vans trucks in this game. That's a little small, I would say. We do have this though, but again, the bed just isn't up to the job. So I think we'll go with this. It's a real pickup truck, plus it doesn't have a stupidly sloped windscreen like loads of the modern ones do. I don't get why they do that on cars. But it's not important, because I say it's not. So we can have that with or without the cover on. You know, let's go with the cover, because it's a luxury truck. Now, we're actually going to build an engine today. Just put the quality up. And the reason, I couldn't be bothered to build an engine before. But seriously, you know, it's nice to sometimes see an engine coming to life as well. If everything's already made, it gets a bit boring. Well, I think at least. I could be wrong. It actually looks like it's got 4 doors here. Maybe 5 doors if you include the boot thingy here. That's interesting. I thought it would just be the front doors. It would be more rigid that way, that's for sure. But I'll accept the way it is. Now, we want some chunky headlights, I think. Once we've sorted out the ladder. Just go with some high-end HS steel here, unless it's poor for corrosion. No, it's good. Stiffness. Where's stiffness? Average. Yeah, we want it to be a stiff ladder because the car rests on it. And at least the way Americans used to build these things, they had traditional ladder frames and things. Now, traditionally, the thing to do would be to go McPherson struts and leaf springs, I think. Now, leaf springs is sort of inevitable because you want it to support heavy loads, I guess. Although, I could go with air suspension, which would work. Could go with push rod on the way. Let's see how that looks if I build the layers of the truck up if it actually lets me. Yeah, just like that. It's not actually as impractical as I would have thought for push rod. And bring that up again. No, it looks about the same, oddly enough. Now, I think we'll go with air suspension. Multi-link rear, because there's not much weight there. If you're not towing stuff, and it would get quite bumpy otherwise. I mean, I know it's probably overkill for a Ford F150 rival, but you know, we like to be market leaders here. Now, panel material. We kind of want it to be steel because it's cheap, but then remember it's a massive, massive truck, so I'm going for aluminium. to keep it light. Could probably go with fiberglass, but that would end up being a limited production truck. So what do we have here? They look strange, futuristic lights. Nah, I'm going more retro with this, I think. Unless they could kind of switch over. I'm not sure how that works. Nah, it's trying too hard to be modern for a blocky design. Which actually gets me thinking, we don't need loads of engine bay room here. Even with a V8, it can move that back a little because just don't need near that space. But then it doesn't make much difference, does it? Maybe a bit curvier there, but I'd rather not have the front overhang. It'll improve the off-roading if we don't have loads of front overhang. And my voice is going funny again. We can have some nice chrome on this truck because we're targeting the premium sector of the market. Now, I want it to be pretty chromed out here. Just see what grills we've got available. I could go with a kind of mesh grill, if it works. I don't think I'll go for that though. Just one final look at that. Nah, I definitely prefer this one. Maybe. I don't know. I'm torn. I think this one looks a little classier maybe. But then... no. That was a mistake. I meant to change the grill I've got there. No, I'm actually... that's growing on me. Quickly. Now, the grill we have here, there's only one I could really think would work. And that would be the Dodge style grill. Massive. It doesn't actually go big enough by the looks of it. No, it does. My mistake. Should probably just bring it up and then bring the edges inwards. I mean, I feel like it's too big, but then that's definitely part of the charm, having this huge grille here. And I've just ruined it by having it going over onto the bonnet and stopping you actually accessing anything. That should just about work, maybe up a little more. There we go. Now what do we do for headlights? I'm not too sure. And I just thought there was another chrome option there, so I went back onto it, but there isn't. Could try Civic lights, but I don't think they'd work. They work better than you'd think, but not good enough for me. Now, what can we go for? I feel like going for some round headlights, but that wouldn't really work. Fiat Coupe headlights. What if we actually stretched these to fit? How dreadful would they look? I'm not liking them. But it could be worse, you know? I probably shouldn't say that. Because we all know what happens when someone says that. Doo-doo-doo. Come on, look through these lights. What are these ones? Oh yes, I'm just thinking if I used doubled up ones of these. Just see what we've got in the way of styles. Can go full chrome, but I don't think it suits it. I don't know. Don't want it to look too plastic. I think those ones. It might look slightly ugly, but I'm willing to bet there's worse out there. And that's the way we style our cars. Hey, it could be worse, guys. That's to say, you did an adequate job. Ooh, we stole terminology from Rolls-Royce. Fancy. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like this. But I don't want to spend so long messing it up. So, I think we'll just have some indicators somewhere, if I can find them. Maybe some of these with chrome on. Move them out of the light. Nah, they don't fit. Not to my eyes. They can be indicators. They look okay. I'll just accept them. I mean, under the could be worse logic, I think they need shortening a little because they're really poking out the side in an ugly way. And there is our beautiful truck. No shortage of cooling, that's for sure. We could even go with a bonnet vent if we wanted to. I mean, maybe I should go with something on there to give it more design flair. Not sure that works. We can get it in chrome though. No, it works even less. Just too much chrome for its own good. Now we do have chrome strips somewhere we could put on this to make it look a little more classy. I believe we do, at least. And where am I? I'm forgetting what I'm doing. Could have one of these on, but I just don't think anything works there. Let's see what we've got in the way of windscreen adjustment. Could try and give it a Corvette windscreen. Or just wake it upwards too much. If I'm making any sense of myself. That doesn't work. So we just want it to be about in the middle there. Balance aerodynamics and visibility. Now, what else do we have? I mean, these wheels look stupid, I know. Handles. We want some chrome handles. Let's see how these ones look. I don't like them. We could go with fancy aero handles, but given the type of vehicle this is, doesn't seem worthwhile. Can go with many of these with chrome. I like the ones we went on just a moment ago, actually. These ones seem good. I'm not sure why you would want that, though. The plastic and chrome contrast completely. I mean, this isn't really a utility vehicle design-wise. It's more of a luxury vehicle. You know, it's like one of those trucks you buy because you can afford it to show off to all your co-workers and all that. I think we'll have a door that opens outwards like that. I think some pickups have it. The Mazda RX-8 does, so we'll just call it a sporty feature. Move them a little closer together so the design still works somewhat. And no, I don't want to rotate it, but I've done it anyway now. And there we go. Done on a close enough basis. I feel we could go with some aero actually. If we look at what lips we've got. Chrome. Chromium. Yay. There we go. Maybe what I said about departure angles and stuff, we've just gone back on ourselves. Chrome is more important. I mean, my truck needs aero. This has got to compete with the Raptor, yo. If only we could go with a chrome wings, though. A double wing would be good if we could have one on the back of the roof as well. Actually, we can go with a roof rack. That'll give us downforce. Nothing unrealistic about that. It's actually quite well fitted to this roof, if we make it bigger. It's a utility vehicle, okay. I don't like it though. I'm inclined to say I don't like it, but it's a necessary feature for utility. And I think we'll go with some roof lights as well if we go with this. Just make it a little smaller, but mainly shorter, I think. The other way. That will give us space for our lights, I think. And we also need a roof-mounted spoiler. Otherwise, will it ever get downforce when you take the bed cover off? Probably not. So that's what we'll do. Downforce always is more on the rear anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. Now I think it's under wings. Yep. We can get our lights. Save our model quickly. And don't close the game. Yeah. Not sure what the point in having them facing that way is. So we can have varying levels of chrome. I don't know why those ones are flipped around like that though. Yeah, go with these ones. Lower centre of gravity. I've stretched my lights out sideways too much. I've ruined them. I need to do it this way or it'll completely ruin them. I think I've still ruined them, but I don't know. Now I just have to leave them as they are. Maybe not a look I like, but what I have to do. Could go with some on the bonnet as well, but that's not very utilitarian. Don't want that roof rack to be so close it rubs on the lights. If I moved it any closer we would be in trouble there. I mean, it's probably not safe in the event of a crash, unless it adds rigidity or something to the body. Now, wings. Can we go with something crazy? And it's clicked on my rally lights. No, it does that. It's being a little crazy at the moment, so let's just try changing the colour. We have a green truck because we're good for the environment. And we want 4x4 because utility. Now, wings, where do you hide? No, it's moved my lights back. I have to admit though, I think those lights look a little better in green than they did in red. Now, I think we'll just have to go with that. It's a shame, but that we can't go with a wing. But we have got downforce from these parts because of the weird way automation works, so it's not the end of the world. Now, what engine can we go with? I feel like we should go with a naturally aspirated V6. Or an inline 6. Yes, let's make a high power European style inline 6. So if we adjust this, we'll have it very bore bias, so it can have quite a high bore, which will give it good high revving credentials. Just what you want. I think we'll go 3.2 litres. I mean, it's practically a BMW, this truck. I'm not sure BMW's ever made a pickup truck. Would be interesting. No VVL. But we'll go with variable valve timing. And we need to turn the quality up and stuff. Sometimes you can't turn the quality up quite as much without giving it stupid amounts of cost. But on many elements you can. It's not going to be a turbo. We'll have 7 on here. No, 10, it's a non-turbo. If it was a turbo, we'd have to kind of balance them. Turbos are expensive. Now we'll have single direct injection. It's a lot more efficient with fuel. So when we're building a high performance engine, that is really going to help. And we want it to be high revving. We'll lower that later. Now, I can't spend too long doing this because the video will go on forever, if that's the case. So I'll instead focus on just making a good vehicle. Now, I think we'll go with baffles and freeway. They're not good for airflow, but we shouldn't need loads of airflow. If we do, just make the exhaust bigger. Because, you know, we've got to save a bit of money here and there. We can't just build a money is no object vehicle. And yeah, as I'm saying that, I have a 4,000 credit engine. I think we can go +5 on there. It's a little expensive, but given this is a performance engine, I think we can get away with that. I mean, if we were doing an eco engine, maybe we'd have to build it cheaper so people could afford it. Now, just make some of this stuff higher. Put it on lean because it will make it more economical. And let's see what we can get out of it. Oh, I need to test it. That's why it's not telling me the power. Oh yes, that's pretty good actually. If I can get 400, I'll be really happy. But I don't think we will. Hey, forget fuel economy. We need the power. This is a good engine. Yeah, I may have pushed it a bit too far there. Yeah, leave it at that and then try adjusting the thingy. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could probably develop this engine with turbos and tune everything within an inch of its life to get better performance. But for now, I just want a powerful engine, so that's what I'm doing. Whoa. But so far I can push everything before it'll give up. It should be able to rev quite high though. Because I've set it up that way. Just check my exhaust is giving me the maximum power. And I think that's our engine. It's not very efficient, but it does make good power. Which if I check the Ford for comparison purposes, after I've adjusted the RPM of course, to something more reasonable where the engine won't explode. I'm just interested if I can change this part and fix it. It doesn't seem to make much difference most of the time though, and it's not worth the money. There's odd moments where it does really help, but not that often. You know, I don't like spending the money on fuel injection. Thankfully the difference between this isn't that much more for what it is. So if that gives us slightly better airflow, maybe better economy, but a lot more power as a result of that. And there we go. Managed to increase the power slightly like that. The exhaust doesn't seem to be restricting everything as I might have worried. Now, how high can we rev this? It is quite a big engine and that will restrict us to a certain level. So, 8800 seems to be the maximum we can manage. That's not bad. Not too bad. So just adjust all my stuffs to get the most out of the engine. And then we'll see just how it drives. I think that's the best we're going to get really. I put the RPM up anymore, the engine wants to explode. I put it down, I'll start losing power. So that's the best I can balance it. What have we got here? Maybe if I change this now, maybe get a horsepower or two. No, but I can get slightly lower end torque. And probably save a tiny amount of money in the process. And I can turn the quality up. I didn't think of that before. And then just run a smaller exhaust. They don't cost that much if you turn the quality up. Some things really do. Let's see, $2,600 of engine. So it's quite expensive, but it is a strong, naturally aspirated inline six that can compete with many American V8s actually. Quite an interesting sounding engine. You know, this is something the Americans would never do though, because they love their V8s. They don't want to see them embarrassed by an inline six, especially not a smallish inline six like this. Now, the Ford engines make 385 horsepower, well the most powerful one does, at 5750 RPM. So it's safe to say we've built a higher revving sports engine. It's probably not right for a pickup truck if I'm entirely honest, and I've already done that, so why am I doing it again? Now I think we'll want a sequential double clutch maybe. Now we're going for a sporty feel. I'll go with a manual. It's just I thought, say, being a pickup truck, the driver might want to relax and just let the car drive itself essentially, but that's not always the case. I think we can get 150 out of this once I'm sort of the cooling, because those grills will be making a lot of drag. Now the problem with a big car is everything's really expensive. It's not a sports vehicle though, so I shouldn't need any fancy differentials. A locked set of differentials should do just fine for what this vehicle is, as long as we've got wide enough tyres to help put the power down. Speaking of which, here we have our tyres. Yeah, I think 255s is a little much, but you know, it's a lot of power we've got to put down. I think we need to flare the rear slightly. I'm inclined to say I need a differential, but we still want this to have some off-road credentials, so we don't want it to struggle too much. I wonder what it does 0 to 60 in when it's finished, because it won't tell me now. Yeah, there we go. No, I don't want sports compound. Could go with off-road, but I think long life road is fine for now. Then the owner can fit off-road compound if they intend on going off-road. Now we want some nice wheels here, but not too massive. It is a sporty truck, but I think 19s maybe. Nah, 20 seems to be okay. I want it to look sporty though, but I don't want wheels so big it's going to reduce your comfort to a level it's not worth it. Could go with these Lamborghini wheels. I think we'll go with these ones. I've had them on my computer for a while, but they work. Now, what have we got here? I don't know. I'll have a wider front track perhaps. No. Yep, wider front track. Kisme says so. Why is it when I select four-wheel drive though, it always gives me no control? I'll have to go with all-wheel drive then, I guess. I want this to be good symmetrical all-wheel drive here, so we can get the traction. I mean, I don't know why it doesn't let me do it with four-wheel drive. I'm pretty sure you can adjust it to send so much power wherever, but unfortunately you can only do it with all-wheel drive. Maybe it's just that four-wheel drive is auto-adjusting, I'm not sure. But I don't want to send all the power to the rear because it won't have the traction, I don't think. Speaking of traction, I don't want this to understeer massively, so I think I'll go with 40/60 actually. You know, it's the same tyres front and rear, so we could end up with having too little front end grip free, and it might not have a grip to make a corner. Now, alloy wheels, they could be curbed, and they're pretty big wheels, so we don't want to put anything stupid on there, like carbon fibre, and then have some driver curb his wheels and have to pay £9,000 for a replacement. Actually, how much are they? Yeah, 14.95. That's not too bad, actually. I'd think they'll be much worse than that. Now, carbon ceramic brakes. Nah, we don't need it. We just need a good set of vented discs, really. And then solid discs on the rear, because they're not stressed quite so much as the front ones. Go with about 240mm. The rear doesn't do that much braking work, so it doesn't need huge capable brakes. I'll give them 250. Leaving it at that. The front does all of the work, really, so that's why we're putting the big brakes there. Now, downforce. Downforce is grip, and we want stability on a vehicle like this. We want the active stuff. It's pricey, but I think it's worth it for keeping control of it at speed, you know. Create a sports truck, we want it to be usable. Wing angle. Let's just see what it gives us. And as I said, we only need 280.6 kilojoules per second, is that? Whatever it is. It's actually a pretty efficient engine, probably to do with it being naturally aspirated. But it doesn't need that much cooling. I mean, it's probably just because, although it is a massive pickup truck, the engine itself isn't as huge as you might think, and I'm just assuming it's got a massive V8 that needs loads of cooling in my head for some reason. So we need 280. We'll give it a little more. We'll dedicate some of that to brake cooling, because we've got huge discs. We want to keep them nice and cool. Probably too much cooling on the brakes. Maybe a little more on the engine. No, I don't think we'll need it. It's already running over what's absolutely necessary. So as long as, you know, we don't have major production problems and engines that are half hanging out so we can't get the other stuff, we should be fine. We can have 6 seats in here. Should we do that? I don't know. I'm thinking 5, you know. We don't want to force 3 people into the front. We can force 3 people into the rear seats because, you know, that's not where the adults sit, and it's the adults who buy the car and everything, so they're the most important. But, you know, what I do for money. We want a premium interior, I think. This stuff is going to be heavy, but I think we'll need it to make it a properly competitive vehicle. And we want good safety. Now we want adaptive air suspension, that way we can raise or lower the rear if there is a heavy load in it. And it should be very comfortable as well. Which is what you want, isn't it? Say up for comfort, because it's not a sports vehicle, it's just designed to be quick. We want it to be comfortable over long durations of time though. And the weight, 2351 kilograms. I believe that is heavier than the top end Ford F150, which only weighs 2091 kilograms. So yeah, it's not exactly light, but you do get a premium interior, which is always useful, and better suspension components and things. Total cost 16,606.95 is that. Now if we just quickly look at the markets, that's not as bad as I thought actually. We can make, as long as we're not expecting to make loads of markup, we can sell it quite cheap. I think $42,000 sounds reasonable for what it offers. We're not making huge amounts of profit on that, but you know, it'll kind of establish the name of the truck, which I haven't actually set yet. So we're going to call it, look, oh, my keyboard's acting up. Luxo lorry. No, it's not a lorry. I have no imagination, so I'm just choosing a sensible name, really. Saving us all the hassle. Weight distribution, I'm surprised it's front bias, to be honest, with a light, naturally aspirated engine in the front, but it's not too bad overall. We do have everything set up. So just check the suspension settings alright, and the aerodynamic settings, I guess, then we can take it round the track. And oh no, look at all that front aero. It's because of how frontwards my rear aero is, I believe. But we do still have some rear aero, so it should be nice and stable. There we go. I mean, it's not exactly overflowing in downforce, but I never wanted it to. I just wanted some downforce, so when you get it up to crazy high speeds, it wouldn't lose control. And when you have a massive vehicle losing control, that's not safe for anyone. We still have front bias. I mean, I really have to lower that, because the front aero setting is very effective. Come on, it's on 2. I don't know what to do about this, other than just lower the rear aero. I put 0 on there. It's still biased to the front. What about the rear? Oh dear. Now, I could try changing that setting. Then the wing angle would begin to take effect more. We're still front bias though. I mean, the only thing I can think to do about this is add another wing if it actually lets me. So do I have to tick that or something? No, I don't know. This is confusing me. I'll have to try messing around and seeing if I can get anything out of it. But also, while we're back here, we can go back to the transmission. And oh dear, my estimate of 150 was a bit off. Or maybe not, it is hitting 150. As long as the gearing's not massively off, I can get the speed I want out of it. A little more in case you're going downhill or something. But you know, I'm surprised by that. 9.3 miles per gallon. Yes, it's naturally aspirated though. It's practically a V8. Just I'm wanting to be different from every other truck manufacturer, so I've put a high performance inline 6 in. Probably stolen from BMW, but who knows for sure. So, there we go. It does 0 to 62 in 5.9 seconds, which for something so heavy with a naturally aspirated engine, I don't think is too bad. You know, if it was a turbo, it would have loads of low end torque and it would get going like nothing, but the way it is, as a naturally aspirated truck, I don't think it's doing too bad. Now we've set this up for downforce though. Right, I've had an idea. I don't really like my idea. I don't like my idea as such, but I think it's what I'll have to go with. So if we grab the lights and remove them, that should work. I mean, I don't believe real life car companies have these problems, you know. Like, oh, we've forgotten how to attach a wing to the car, what do we do? And still, it's still doing things. Maybe there's a limit to the number of wings I can have or something. Never thought of that before. Yeah, I think I'm only allowed 2 wings or something weird. Still, I'll make the most of that and just have a kind of mighty wing on here. Maybe too mighty, but I can't be bothered changing it now because I've got it working. It does impress me just how powerful this engine is, though, for what it is. So we should finally have it brought into balance somewhat. Yes. Balanced enough for me, I think. Although I would have a little more on the front, ideally. But we've brought it under control, which I'm happy with. Maybe now we're struggling for front aero. I don't know. That's more than I thought I'd need to bring it up to about 100. So there we go. 100 exactly. How lucky am I? But the top speed will be lowered massively now. It's running a lot more aero than I thought it would. Oh no, not lowered massively. Maybe it's just the slab frontedness of the truck that affects it like that. I've lost miles per gallon though. I guess that's just a result of a downforce. But I mean, it's a sport truck. Are there really any 450 horsepower engines more efficient than this? Probably a few, but how much more efficient, you know? It's essentially a supercar engine. Probably less efficient than a Lamborghini, but then it weighs about a ton more than a Lamborghini, so it's not really a fair comparison. I am bringing my miles per gallon up a bit, and my 0 to 60 has gone out the window. Just for minimal miles per gallon improvements. Why would I throw my my speed out the window like that? So there we go, 5.7 0 to 62. I'm happy with that. Suspension, just give that a final check. And we've got the same-ish weight balance, and I'm on the wrong track. Someone save me, something save me. And I forgot the quality. So the game had a bit of a crash, and then my computer refused to record it, which is a little difficult. As you'll see down here though, we have our number plate and we have our badge. I mean, I couldn't find anywhere else to put the badge without ruining the design, so it's just there, you know, the one plain space we have on the truck. And the plate has just gone on the grille. Now also, if we look round the back, we'll see we've got some tail lights, we've got some quad exhausts here, number plate and a badge up here, which could also act as a handle if you want to open the boot. We've also got some 23-inch wheels. I could have gone with 24s, but I wanted it to have some wide comfort because before they just looked really tiny, you know, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to be a little better there, although it has reduced my miles per gallon, perhaps. And the acceleration is about the same, maybe even a little quicker. So we'll just take it around the track and see how it does. Safe to say we won't be beating a Bugatti Veyron Supersport anytime soon. We may do pretty well. This is a 450 horsepower plus naturally aspirated truck, remember, so it's not underpowered. Although it does weigh a lot. Almost 2400 kilograms, and the wheels haven't helped with that. It is getting some decent pace on. Going through the drive-through right now. How it goes. It makes quite a lot of downforce, by the way, if you haven't noticed that. I'm pretty sure it made more than that before the crash. but what do I know? Now let's see where we get to. 1 minute 27.56, which if I scroll down puts me between the Audi RS5 and the Subaru Impreza Cosworth, which I think is a nice place to be, really, you know. Although the Subaru was in the wet, that is a much lighter vehicle without that much less power, so I think I've done quite well there. Also just behind a TVR 350C and a Nissan 370Z, and above a Camaro and M3 CSL. So I think for a pickup truck I'm pretty happy with the result here. And best of all, it doesn't actually look half bad. I mean, I could have made a mess of a look completely, but it looks okay, you know, doesn't it? And now we have number plates and a mighty wing. Yay! Everything is good. Goodbye until another day, everybody.